Something else, and I've said before, if you do the equations and use the laws of gravity and the laws of thermodynamics and calculate how quickly 110 concrete slabs could fall from 470 metres to the ground, the quickest it could do it was something like 11.5 seconds in the case of World Trade Center 2. But it came down in 10. The only way you can make, as indeed we've been told, the only way you can make something come down faster than gravity is to push it down. And to do that, you have to add energy. You have to add energy to accelerate these floors quicker, and then to turn it into dust requires a heap more energy. And by definition, adding that much energy in a confined space in that short a period of time is an explosion by definition. The planes came down the towers came down because of explosions, period.
Please.
Yes, please.
Neil, I'm just wondering, the dust that was that you investigated and analysed and so on, was it taken from just that one particular individual in that one particular location, or were there several samples that you were able to get from around the district?
Yes. The scientific paper is based on samples from four different individuals. And there were more samples, but we confined the paper only to individuals who were ready to testify how they got the sample, how they stored it, and eventually put down what we call the chain of custody. So it's very firmly documented. Other samples where the individuals denied to stay in public, these samples were taken out of the investigation. The paper is based on 4 different samples. But then we have several sources. It turned out later on to be slightly different, but this is another story. The scientific paper is based on 4 different samples, and the chain of custody is very firmly established. Please.
I'm sorry, one quick question. Whenever I talk to people about the thermite in the buildings, they always say it came from other sources, or could have come from other sources. I wonder if you could just cover that point. For example, in the world used to construct the buildings.
I'm not sure I understood the question.
What they're saying is the thermite was already in the building for other reasons, for example, construction or some other source.
Thermite be in the building for other reasons? No.
Yeah. I've actually been far enough. I spent many years of my life building. And I know that aluminium is not part of the slag you get from the welding. The aluminium is in all these particles. And aluminium is in the red chips. So no, it's not come from welding.
Any other explanation other than someone...
Well, if you have a suggestion why nanothermite should be in the building for other reasons, you're welcome to present it to the...
That's the argument they put up there.
Yeah, very good one. Okay.
The fact that the material is nano is also a complete refutation of anything to do with welding.
If the thermite supplies the heat for a fire, you don't need to have thermite all the way, because if you're conversant with welding, you can turn an oxy torch onto a sheet of steel and get it molten, then turn the flame off, and the oxygen will burn the sheet through on its own. So that accounts for the different trajectory, the lateral trajectory of the steel, and the speed of the steel to fall could have been by oxygen application.
No. If you want to burn steel, you have to have pure oxygen, or very high pressure oxygen. You can't do it in air.
That's an oxy-torch, with the pressure.
Yes, but when you press the button on the oxygen torch, you get a jet of pure oxygen, which burns the steel.
Yeah.
First of all, you heat it directly, and then you get the oxygen, and then it burns. But until you cannot do that without the pure oxygen that comes out the centre of your jet.
High pressure, and it directs the heat through.
But where's the oxygen in the 100 square foot?
Which has a projectile or whatever directing the thermite laterally.
Yeah, well, he won't do it.
We have a question down here.
This is not really a question, this is the fellow who introduced this session. Like, I've been with the anti-war movement. I went to a planning session for a protest, and I said, I think 9/11 was a false flag operation, and I was, from that moment on, I was frozen out by that particular group, so that's why this kind of thing is death to the political parties, and they were the radical left wings. Okay, so I'm just pointing out. So ever since then I've been cut out of them, so that's why I don't think there's anyone from the political arena here. That's not a question, but it's just a statement, okay? So
Does anyone having the microphone cast it on to the next, so let the microphone move around?
It's